Hi there, I'm Nathan Agan. Welcome back to the Working Actors Journey Rehearsal Room. We have been working on Hamlet, Act 1, Scene 5 this month in our continuing series of this Hamlet project, where we've been looking at one scene or section over the course of a month. So we've been diving into Hamlet's encounter with the ghost, his actual first conversation, and today we'll get to the rest of that scene. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. If you enjoy, hit that subscribe button, that like button. And as I say this every time, but it bears repeating, while tonight may be the final session of this workshop, what you're seeing or hearing is not meant to be a final performance. This is just a continued work in progress. This is just one step in many. As we've talked about, if we were to get up on our feet and block this, things would inevitably change, but all of this work informs that. We'll continue posting the weekly sessions on YouTube and our podcast for free for all to enjoy. So as I said, be sure to subscribe, click for notifications. Please consider supporting our work to keep this space creative, accessible, and high quality. Links are below if you're watching this later. And thank you to those who have sent in recent donations. You can also get behind-the-scenes access and a couple other perks through a monthly contribution via Patreon, starting at just $5 a month. And thank you to our patrons, Ivar, Joan, Michelle, Jim, Magdalene, Claudia, Cliff, and Jeff. As I said, if you have any questions, we'd love to keep the conversation going in the comments. So please leave your thoughts there. And that is it. I will turn it over to our intrepid team and cast and here, and we'll dive back into Act 1, Scene 5 of Hamlet. So have a great time.
Thank you. Yeah, it does look like Michelle is here as well. I'd like to open today up with, again, any observations from even last week, the Hamlet's reaction to the ghost, or about the play in general. I think it's time now for us to expand the discussion. Now we're heading into a part of the play where I know from my own reading, there's much controversy about what's happening, what it means, particularly with Hamlet's journey. Is he a man who can't make up his mind? Is his mind been tainted? Is he mad? All of that's out there. So any kind of observation that you have or an idea that was changed for you through this, I want to open the conversation up to that right now, and then we'll jump into reading the entrance of Horatio and Marcellus. Anybody? No.
Yeah, I got something.
Good.
When it was done at APT back in '87, and we get to the end of the scene of Act 1, Hamlet first says it's an honest ghost, that let me tell you. Then the ghost says swear, and all of a sudden we have a new nomenclature for the ghost. How is that played? Was it played as though Hamlet's not, once he hears the ghost say swear for the first time and he keeps popping up saying swear, that Hamlet starts to have, is he having second doubts now because of that? Maybe this isn't a good, an honest ghost? Or do you remember how it was played?
Randy, let me open it up to you. I don't know if you do remember, but you certainly have ideas of what you feel it is.
Well, I think, Jim, Hamlet gets the guys to swear on his sword to keep silent, to not reveal what they've seen that night and what they've heard, the voice that they're hearing under the ground. But he gets them to swear to silence in order to relieve the ghost. The ghost comes in to ask them to swear, and Hamlet gets them to swear on his sword. And his final line to the ghost is rest, rest, perturbed spirit. So he's accomplished that task.
I see.
Not a word of this incident has got to leak out. He's got a lot of figuring out to do to execute the revenge. You know what I mean? So
Yes.
no gossip about ghosts or what occurred these past few nights. And that's what he gets them to do, I think.
There's a big puzzle, is that when he was with the ghost, he was very respectful towards the ghost. And in this scene, he calls him true-penny boy. And we talked about that a little bit last week. Is it because of Marcellus's presence and that he's not to be totally trusted? So he plays it differently with the ghost. I don't know. I mean, that to me is the big puzzle of the end part of the scene, is why Hamlet is that flippant with the ghost.
Yeah.
Is the ghost, why does the ghost keep saying swear, swear, swear? Is he getting pissed off with Hamlet for not getting it done? I mean, those are my questions.
Yes. Well, I think one of the things to take into consideration, the ghost is heading back to where he came from. So instead of the voice getting louder, it gets softer.
That's great.
I think.
Yeah, no, that's great.
The other thing, I think it's a good observation that Marcellus is involved in how he treats the ghost. If Marcellus is particularly afraid of what he's hearing from under the ground, you know, he's the one. Horatio is the one who now comes in and says, "We'll swear, do the oath." But it's Marcellus who, after being Hamlet's bodyguard, suddenly has reservations. What am I hearing? What's going on? You know, so in order to ease the fearfulness of the event, perhaps Hamlet does use more informal language with the voice that they're hearing under the ground. Perhaps. I don't know, just a speculation.
I also want to suggest that here's where staging becomes very, very important. And I have, as we work through, I want to ask some questions. Every time I've seen this scene, I have to say every time, I don't remember all of them, but it goes so fast that I rarely see people react to the newness of it, to the strangeness of it, what Hamlet has experienced, what these men have not experienced. And I think one of the things that occurred to me was these men are reluctant to swear. Horatio says, propose the oath, but there's a kind of realization that we're swearing to a man who may be mad. Horatio has warned us about this when he goes off. He says, what if he tempts you? And you know, frightened of him becoming mad. They come into a scene where Hamlet seems a little mad when he says, you have business, I have business, and you should do yours, and I'll go pray. And it's all one sentence, by the way.
Yes.
So his behavior is questionable. And now he's asking them to swear. I believe the ghost is helping him. I think the ghost comes in to show Marcellus and Horatio it is a true ghost. It's not me. It's not in my madness, but here's proof. And then, of course, we have to react to each one. I also think that the idea of true penny goes back to, this is an honest ghost, let me tell you. Here's true penny means real penny. There were counterfeit pennies and there were real pennies. So he's saying this is the real thing. He calls him true penny, trusty. I can trust you. And he does not refer to him as his father. I think the whole lightness of it has to do with, this is a spirit, this is a ghost, this is a, who is not his father. And I think I think Randy is on to something with the lightness, maybe to take away from the horror of the situation for these men. But I think that, and how he talks about the ghost being a pioneer and a mole and all of that, that there's still doubt for Hamlet. I think when we look at the play, we have to see that the Hamlet, by the way, who says, haste me to know it, that I with wings as quick as meditation and the thought may sweep to my revenge. What he says at the end of the scene, oh, cursed spite that ever I were born to set it right. It is in action. It is in time now. So his first reaction is one thing. And as we unfold the scene, things change. I think it happens with Marcellus. I think it happens with Horatio. Horatio's more eager. I mean, Horatio's more willing to trust Hamlet completely. Never forget, Horatio is not Danish. Marcellus is. And Marcellus is caught between a fealty to the king that exists now and the prince and the king that once was. So I don't want anyone to walk away thinking, oh, that Marcellus, he just should have sworn. He is up against a real problem. And so he's fearful. And then the idea, and this again, I don't know how you do it in modern productions, the idea of making an oath on a cross affects your soul. It affects your very life and death. So to make that choice, I think does call for hesitation, does call for fear, doubt. And even Horatio is not, he doesn't just jump in. He has conversations with them. And these are, when he says, this is strange. My God, this is strange. So I think, Liz, I tend to agree with Randy that there needs lightness from Hamlet, but I would add to it that he's not recognizing this ghost as his father. He was told to remember me, and his pledge is to remember everything that ghost has said to him in that conversation. He's not going to share. I think that's another thing. He's got to be very careful of sharing too much about this ghost with these two men, no matter how trustworthy they are, that he cannot reveal the details of his meeting. So I think it may also be a deflection from that as well. It's complicated. Obviously, it's complicated. That's why I say, in the end, we'd have to get up on our feet, stage it, and see what we can discover. Okay, does that help?
I think for me too, Liz, by the time you get to the end of the scene, the audience has got to feel confident that when both men swear, they will keep silent.
Yeah.
Somehow by watching Hamlet go through whatever he's going through, it's got to convince Marcellus to put his hand on that sword to silence. And we've got to trust that.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I would say also, Jim, with the APT production, one of the things I do remember, these men, I think Lee was Marcellus, and I don't know if it was Ted who was Horatio, but at any rate,
Yeah, Ted was Horatio.
these men were spent. They were weeping, exhausted, tired. And so Hamlet put his arms around both of them, and they slowly left the stage, realizing that what they witnessed, I don't think they'd even ever want to speak about it. Now, Hamlet's relationship with Horatio will have him reveal much to him. But I think that by the end of that scene, and remember, Hamlet goes back to the Hamlet that he was in the first encounter, where he's loving. He calls them friends. He welcomes them in. But
Annie, even at the end of this,
that's what I'm saying.
He
To me, mirrors what he was earlier. In spite of hurling words at them and all of his other behavior that could be misinterpreted, by the end of the scene, there's absolute trust and love for these men, I would say.
Oh.
Yeah. I think that both men realize that Hamlet, whatever this ghost and Hamlet had together, Hamlet is alone with it and must be alone with it. Whatever the dialogue was between him and the specter. And so I think the recognition of the men that, oh my God, he's got a burden that he can't even share with us or with anybody. So I think it's out of respect for that they also perhaps put their hands on the sword, recognizing that the prince is got something heavy to do.
Yeah.
Perhaps, I don't.
One of the things that I do urge everybody to understand about Shakespeare and about great playwriting, they leave enough questioning the audience to have an opinion, to have a feeling, when he says, hold that mirror up to nature, so that everybody in the audience sees their own
Okay.
nature. He doesn't say, this is it. I think one of the problems today is that we keep wanting to say to audience, this is it. And so we kind of streamline it, we change, we if it's not clear, we force it into our clarity. But I think the wonder of these great playwrights is they involve the audience in thinking and feeling, and there are no answers to it. When they leave the theater, they're going to discuss it, and it's going to live for 400 years. Because if it was solvable, it wouldn't live on. Done. Put it in a box, wrap it up, send it out. That's not what he does. That is his mastery. He will do it. Every single play has questions. This one has the most question marks of any play. So I think the frustration sometimes is, and Randy and I get into it all the time, the frustration of it is, I want to know what's happening. I want to know the definite. And you know what? What you have to do is present the circumstances of it, present the possibilities of it, and allow the audience to decide. You're dealing with a play that talks about purgatory. You have an audience of Protestants who don't believe in purgatory, you know? So what happens to that part of the audience? And I'll get into more of that. Even there, he does not say, this ghost is not following the rules of Catholicism. There are many questions about this ghost and purgatory and how one is supposed to behave, all of the things that have been written down and learned at Wittenberg. He's not following that. And that's why Hamlet says, there are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than are dreamt of in our philosophy. Don't count on your books. Don't understand there's more. There's more. And I think that's what he puts in front of Catholics, Protestants, and non-believers. Anything you believe, put it away for a while because there's more. And he presents that to us with this ghost. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yeah.
Or am I lost in mind? Okay. Okay, anybody else? Anything, anybody? I guess we should read it. I think we're ready, right?
Sure.
So let me just get my little cast list out.
And where are we beginning?
We're going to begin with the entrance of the men. So my Lord Hamlet,
Oh,
Right.
Lord.
what I'd like to do, Nick, I'm going to ask you to do Hamlet this time. Randy, Horatio, and
Right.
Ken, Marcellus. And we're just doing from that to the end. And then Chuck, help us out with the ghost with the swears. Okay? And whenever you guys are ready.
My lord!
Lord Hamlet,
Heaven secure him.
so be it.
Hello, ho, ho, my lord!
Ho, 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 boy! Come, bird, come!
How is my noble lord?
What news, my lord?
Oh, wonderful!
Good, my lord, tell it.
No, you'll reveal it.
Not I, my lord, by heaven.
Nor I, my lord.
How say you then, would heart of man once think it, but you'll be secret?
Aye, by heaven, my lord.
There's ne'er a villain dwelling in all Denmark, but he's an errant knave.
Oh, there needs no ghost, my lord, come from the grave to tell us this.
All right, you're in the right. And so, without more circumstance at all, I hold it fit that we shake hands and part. You, as your business and desire shall point you, for every man has business and desire, such as it is. And for mine own poor part, look you, I'll go pray.
Oh, these are but wild and hurling words, my lord.
I'm sorry they offend you heartily. Yes, faith, heartily.
There's no offense, my lord.
Yes, by St. Patrick, but there is, my lord, and much offense too, touching this vision here. It is an honest ghost, that let me tell you. For your desire to know what is between us, or master it as you may. And now, good friends, as you are friends, scholars and soldiers, give me one poor request.
What is't, my lord? We will.
never make known what you have seen tonight.
My lord, we will not.
We will not.
Nay, but swear it.
Nay, in faith, my lord, not I.
Nor I, my lord, in faith.
Upon my sword.
We have sworn, my lord, already.
Indeed, upon my sword, indeed.
Swear.
Ah, boy, sayest thou so? Art thou there, true Penny? Come on, you hear this fellow in the cellarage consent to swear.
Propose the oath, my lord.
Never to speak of this that you have seen. Swear by my sword.
Swear.
Hic et ubique. Then we'll shift our ground. Come hither, gentlemen, and lay your hands again upon my sword, never to speak of this that you have heard. Swear by my sword.
Swear.
Well said, old mole. Canst thou work in the ground so fast? A worthy pioneer, once more remove, good friends.
Oh, day and night, but this is wondrous strange.
And therefore as a stranger give it welcome. There are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than are dreamt of in our philosophy. But come, here as before, never so help you mercy, how strange or odd soe'er I bear myself, as I perchance hereafter shall think meet to put an antic disposition on, that you at such time seeing me never shall with arms encumbered thus, or thus head shake, or by pronouncing some doubtful phrase as well we know, or we could, and if we would, or if we list speak, or there be, and if there might, or such ambiguous giving out to note that you know aught of me. This do not do. So grace and mercy at your most need help you. Swear.
Swear.
Rest. Rest, perturbed spirit. So, gentlemen, with all my love I do commend me to you. And what so poor a man as Hamlet is may do to express his love and friending to you, God willing shall not lack. Let us go in together, and still your fingers on your lips, I pray. The time is out of joint. Oh, cursed spite, that ever I was born to set it right. Nay, come, let's go together.
Okay. Everybody can come back on. What have you learned? What have you seen? What is the scene most about? What's the thing Hamlet needs from them more than anything else?
Secrecy.
What?
Secrecy.
Secrecy. So every time you ask for that, it needs to be featured. If it gets garbled up with just, it can be anything, we lose the understanding that these men have to take an oath of silence because Hamlet knows that the only way he can move forward is with that. And that's why I love the section where he says your head shaking or this or that. He's quite clear and detailed. Do not breathe a word of this. And the ghost keeps pursuing that. I think the men are hesitant, perhaps not Horatio, perhaps Marcellus more, but I think the fact that the ghost needs to say swear, they haven't sworn. Otherwise, he's just a ghost, calling from on his way to hell. So when you're staging it, I think you have to be very clear that he's saying swear to help Hamlet to get them to swear. Otherwise, again, I don't know why he becomes a random ghost saying swear if they've already laid their hands on the sword. That's number one. The other thing that I want to point out, and I'd like to just do a little bit of it right now. The calling is great, and it's from a distance. My falconry. The thing about a falcon is the reason it lets out a whistle or a sound, and it's not yellow ho ho, okay? we've listened, and Nick and I listened to some today, but it's a high-pitched sound because it's from a distance. And in order for the falconer to hear it, or the falcon to hear it from the falconer, it has to be high-pitched so it can travel. So that tells you these men, when they start the scene, are at a distance. So they're searching, my lord, my lord. And even Horatio here, heaven secure him, because he hasn't answered. And you need to, if you're calling someone, please wait to hear if they answer, because what happens is it's empty. My lord, my lord, my lord. Wait, he doesn't answer. Now we start, what's happened to him? Heaven secure him. And then hillo ho ho. Now we let out the falconer. The thing to understand about a falcon is that a couple of things. That a falcon has a choice to be free or to stay with the falconer. So this is a sign, I think, that Horatio has stayed and Marcellus have stayed with Hamlet. Remember, Horatio wanted to leave. Horatio said, heaven will direct it. But they're actually Marcellus is telling Horatio that, nay, we have to follow him, that they now too are part of the jeopardy that ghost may bring. But that's the loyalty that they have for Hamlet. The other thing about falcon call is it's used as a distraction. It's used as a distraction so the bird doesn't keep eating its prey. So you try to call it away from overeating. But what I think is also a possibility is that it's a distraction for Hamlet. Pull him away from whatever is happening between him and the ghost. And then when he responds, that's when they realize, okay, we can join him. So even that little bit of dialogue there is filled with action. And again, we've seen production. Oh, ho, ho, my boy. Oh, ho. Oh, my Lord, what news? Wonderful. Everything at this point must take time. These men were worried that this ghost would drive him mad. They will come into a situation, the ghost isn't there anymore. Hamlet's first response is wonderful. Oh, my God. Hear it, hear wonderful. So then they say, tell it. Ah, Hamlet has to hesitate. I can't tell it. You'll reveal it. No, we won't. We won't reveal it. But would anyone ever think it were possible? I could never have thought that my mother could be this, my uncle. So he needs to hesitate. But you'll be secret. I, my lord, they say. You know, in faith, well, that's changed. But that's the idea of find out moment to moment. Let that happen here before we introduce the ghost coming in to help Hamlet get their oath. They do not know what happened, and they're fearful of what they're encountering. And Hamlet's words, that speech he has about you have business, all men have business, all of that, it's one sentence, folks. And it's colons and commas, and it's one sentence. And that shows you a kind of frantic frenzy that Hamlet is in. I got to get rid of them. You go do your thing and I'll do my thing, and then I'll go pray. And Horatio's the one who's got to help him get a grip. These are hurling words. Hurling words don't mean thrown. They mean the throwing of insults. And that's why Hamlet will say, I'm sorry they offend you. And then Hamlet is back to Hamlet because he knows he's hurt his friend. And at the core of Hamlet is a good human being. Okay? Can we do the beginning? Same cast.
My lord! My lord!
Lord Hamlet,
Oh, heaven secure him!
so be it.
Hello, my lord!
Lo ho ho, boy. Come, bird, come.
How
Now,
is
hold
my
on,
noble
hold
lord?
on, hey, say, stop for a second. Nick, you have just sworn, you just made an oath to that ghost. So you have to ask yourself, are you excited that they're there? You have somebody to share this with. Remember, he's not thinking at this point, but when you're welcoming them in, allow it to be more welcoming.
Okay.
Once again.
My lord! My lord!
Lord Hamlet,
Heaven secure him!
so be it.
Hello, my lord!
Lo ho ho, boy. Come, bird, come.
How is my noble lord?
What news, my lord?
Oh, wonderful.
More, Nick, more. Wonderful. I can't wait. I'm bursting with how terrific. More.
Oh, wonderful.
Good, my lord, tell it.
No, you'll
Now,
reveal it.
hesitate. Tell it. Think about it for a moment. Then.
What news, my lord?
Oh, wonderful.
Well, good, my lord, tell it.
No, you'll reveal it.
Oh, not I, by heaven, my lord, by heaven.
Nor I, my lord.
How say you then? Would heart of man once think it?
Hold
But you'll
on.
be
Nick, let me help you with it. Is it possible? How say you then? Could heart of man once think it? And now the next thing is what you need from them, because that's yours. You're not saying, you don't want an answer from them. That's your moment of recognition of how this is unthinkable. So then the next thing you need
okay.
to them is secrecy, because you're about to tell them. Good, guys, good. We're going and, moving forward. Thanks for putting up with me. Okay. Once again.
Where from?
From what news, my lord?
What news, my lord?
Oh, wonderful.
Oh, good, my lord, tell it.
No, you'll reveal it.
Not I, by heaven, my lord.
Nor I, my lord.
How say you then? Would heart of man once think it? But you'll be secret.
I, by heaven, my lord.
my lord.
There's ne'er a villain dwelling in all Denmark, but he's an errant knave.
Now you got to think. You have to think what you're saying to him. You're saying to them, there's ne'er a villain in all of Denmark, but he's an errant knave. Is that true? Who's the villain in Denmark?
The king, Claudius.
You're going to have to help deflect that. So you want to start it with, there's near a villain living in all of Denmark, but he's an errant knave.
Switch.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's ne'er a villain dwelling in all Denmark, but he's an errant knave.
Well, there needs no ghost come from the grave to tell us this.
Aye, right. You're in the right. And so, without more circumstance at all, I hold it fit that we shake hands and part. You, as your business and desire shall point you. For every man has business and desire such as it is. And for mine own poor part, look you, I'll go pray.
Oh, these are but wild and hurling words, my lord.
I'm sorry they offend you heartily. Yes, faith, heartily.
Okay, good. Let me just clarify 1 second there. The same thing. Good, Nick, with the whole of the holding it all together. Ladies and gentlemen, the content of it. Let's shake hands and part. That's not the loving prince who he's saying to Horatio, let's shake hands and part. You go do your thing, and then I'll go pray. The content of it is cold. The content of it is not, one would say to a friend or to someone you had any kind of respect or love for. That has to be in that speech, so that when Horatio says these are wild and hurling words, he's hurt by it, or you think he is, or Hamlet thinks he is. That then you'll find your moment to him really, honestly, truthfully, I'm sorry they offend thee. Because you say, right? The line, I'm sorry they offend.
I'm sorry that, yeah, they
My
offend your
heart,
heart.
I'm sorry. This is where, we do Shakespeare and the word heartily means nothing. You got to start looking at those words. What he's saying is from my heart. And when you're acting it, you got to mean it. That's what we're being told here,
Can't see.
and then Horatio will respond, right? Does that all make sense to you guys?
Yeah.
So my point in all of this is it takes time. I know you want to jump in and do it, but you have to work out the circumstances so
Change.
that you're able to have the audience know what's happening between these men. Okay? Randy, you have any feedback? Is
Nope.
that? I'll point out one other thing, and that is Horatio says, "By heaven, I won't say anything." Marcellus doesn't. He just says, "Nor I." All right. No big deal. I wouldn't read into it again. Anti-Marcellus slogans,
But then they both say, "I, by heaven, my lord,"
and they will
after that. So
after that. That's right. Okay. Do you
Yeah,
want to keep?
I have a question for you.
Mhm.
On his Marcellus says, "So be it." The modern version gives that line to Hamlet, and I have a tendency to want to agree with the modern version. I don't understand why Marcellus would be saying "so be it," whereas Hamlet would be reflecting back on the oath he just took when he said, what does he say? He said after this, after his "O all you host of heaven" monologue. Anyway, I take it at APT at American Players Theater, you didn't change that, right?
No, I wouldn't change it today.
All right, well, never
I
mind.
wouldn't change it today because I think you're backing up Horatio. He says heaven secured, so be it.
so be it.
Both together.
Okay. All right. The other question I have is that line where, "Yes, by St. Patrick, but there is, my lord." And the modern version says, "Yes, by St. Patrick, but there is Horatio."
Yeah. Again,
First time I read that, it was like Hamlet's mocking Horatio.
well,
Using my lord?
yeah.
Is that what
Yes.
you're referring to?
I mean, I understand, Jim, and you're going to find you can keep comparing those texts, and you're going to find those differences. And I think what we did at APT is to go after the folios as if it was the only text that existed, and work like hell to find out why Hamlet would say, "My lord." Perhaps there's still somewhat of a distance, because he will use Horatio's name down the road in this scene. So that I think that's the only difference. I think we have found this happens with King Lear as well. People do a compilation, and that's what you have in your Folger edition. It's a compilation of the quarto and the folio, and the question starts to become, whose script is it? Because a scholar, an editor, will decide that, to me it feels better here, to me it feels better here. And so what we have done is to stick with the folio, or if you want to do the quarto, you can do that. It's 200 lines more. But just allow it to be the text and try to find out why. What's the possibility? That's not to say that somebody changed it incorrect, anything like that, or there aren't typos in the folio. It's not that kind of thing. But what if you didn't have that modern script? I mean, what if you didn't have that quarto script? You'd have to find a way to say "my lord" and feel that perhaps there's still a distance that he hasn't had the complete comfort yet.
Well, Annie, the response is Horatio says, "There's no offense, my lord." And Hamlet's line is, "Yes, by St. Patrick, but there is, my lord."
Yes. Yeah.
You
great.
know, just picking up the tail end of the previous line.
Yeah.
Does that make sense, Jim? As humor, as
Yeah.
sound, as
Mhm.
I don't know.
Yeah, Randy, I agree. That's great. I think it's a good discovery. I just want to take a moment again to talk about St. Patrick, because St. Patrick is associated with purgatory. So he's not just randomly choosing a saint. That association with purgatory is what Hamlet has been told about his father. And because the ghost is underground, one will make the assumption that he's heading back to hell. What we've learned is that purgatory was somewhere between. And so he may be heading back to purgatory. Of course, we as an audience won't know unless we've done some kind of study. But the idea of mentioning St. Patrick's to an Elizabethan audience, Catholic audience, they would know he's suggesting this ghost is from purgatory. All right. Okay. Anything else? Let's talk a little bit. Everybody can come back on. Let's talk a little bit about the shifting. What's happening there? Unless Sandy, do you have any observation, Sandy Robbins, that you want to share with us?
Well, I think the scansion is interesting. There's all these stress clusters the ghost has that really give an emphasis, murder most foul, things like that that are noteworthy and ethereal and other. And and I think Jim did a good job of having the ghost be very, very different from everybody else orally. So that's the main thing. You know, there's so many half lines and broken lines, and the verse is just disrupted in a way that calls forth an urgency and the ghost is imbued with an extraordinary authoritative in the meter itself, which has us, I think, you know, the audience doesn't know what the hell the meter is, but the audience does know when they're hearing something very authoritative. And I think we are therefore called to feel the ghost to be trustworthy and in a way that the meter really emphasizes.
Good. It's good. Anybody else?
I think the question is whether they're shared lines. Sometimes I'm looking at them. Sometimes they work as shared lines, which would speed it up, or if they're short lines, that would slow it down. I'm another crazy scansion person in the group.
Yeah. Yes,
but that's something you'd work out in rehearsal, what's working, what's not working.
Yes, and I think again that we need all of it, is what I'm finding. I mean, I think you need the meter, you need scansion, you need the folio. The folio, again, because it came out of two members of his acting company, becomes a very valuable text. This was not a script that existed. These two men had to put together cue sheet, I mean, you know, sheets with cues on them and then produce the folio. So it's about as close as we're ever going to get to the acting version of it. And that has value, of course, to us as actors. There's a lot, I think one of the emphasis often on this play is from scholars is that it's literature, that it's meant to be read. For actors, it's meant to be played. And I think that's where the folio can come in with the scansion. I don't think they oppose each other at all, but I think that all of our attention goes on how do we act it rather than how we get the wonders of it being a piece of literature. Okay. Anybody else? So let's talk a little bit about the swearing and what happens physically.
Marcellus is a soldier, correct?
That's right.
Right. So when a new king is installed, every soldier in the realm swears an oath of fealty to that king.
Yeah.
And it's like you say, it's on the cross. It's with God and the church. And so to ask him to swear another oath of fealty is close to treason. Could have great ramifications for Marcellus if it goes bad, if it goes south. I think that's part of his hesitation. And also it's a strange request to be given. We're on the castle here. You saw a ghost, and now you want us to swear. No, what is going on? He's trying to get his center back because like you say, at the end they're in pieces. Their emotion. All these emotions have come up. That's what I've always taken out of the scene, and particularly after listening to everybody talk.
I think you're right. I mean, that's what I said earlier. I think Marcellus is really up against it. He has to. You're right, Chuck. He has sworn an oath to Claudius now.
Right.
So now just to take an oath to either Hamlet or the ghost,
right,
terrifying. Horatio has not had an oath to the present king. We don't even know if he's had an oath to the old one, but he certainly feels like there's fealty to Hamlet. So, but it is Marcellus who has to weigh out what he's doing and perhaps treason. It's very dangerous for him. I agree with you.
And it really is the ghost, I think, that because like Rand, you mentioned the heaven that he and that heaven doesn't add, he doesn't add heaven until later when they're swearing to Hamlet. And then even it's Marcellus that has the line earlier about we must when they're chasing after him when he goes to see the ghost. That he kind of takes that, we talked about it before, that he takes that security guard role, so that bodyguard, so that it's it really is the ghost that scares him. It is that hesitation. It's he's ready to, he's okay swearing with Hamlet. He's there's hesitation, but that seems more okay than the ghost.
Well, that's my question though. If they're both at ease swearing with Hamlet, why do we need the ghost?
Well, it seems to me that Marcellus is holding back, and that's the point at which the ghost comes up for the first time with swear, because he's very concerned that they're not going to swear. So he says swear, and then Hamlet says, aha, boy, and and then he asks them to consent to swear, and then Horatio says, okay, we'll swear, propose the oath, my lord, and then they will swear, eventually swear.
Hold on. Marcellus will say nothing.
Yes.
So he may have one half of the duo ready, but there may be another hesitation and the ghost comes in again.
Right.
And
well, there's no drama, there's no conflict if they all say, oh, sure, I'll swear.
That's right.
Exactly. And also, up until this time, only Hamlet has heard the ghost, correct?
Yes.
So now they all hear the ghost.
Yes.
Yeah, that's great. Yes.
Yes.
That's right. Go ahead, Terry.
Well, I also like the fact that Horatio says, propose the oath, my lord, as if he doesn't quite know what he's swearing to. And he's saying, let's just clarify here. What are we swearing to? Would you propose the oath so we know? So, some hesitation up until stands, what he's swearing.
And the ghost has to ask 4 times.
Yeah.
The ghost has to ask 4 times to swear, which means there's definitely
resistance.
Right.
Yeah.
And I Michelle, I think he's demanding.
Yes.
The ghost, he's not asking. He's not being polite about this.
Yes,
He's commanding. He's a
it is a
king.
command. Yes, I agree with you.
He's the king, and he's from the underworld. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
I also feel that with the demand, it's also the demand for Hamlet to really push for them to swear also. So
Sure.
it's not just for the other two, it's also for Hamlet to really like, are you hesitating now? Are you not coming? Are you not did everything we just talked about, is this all unfolding and falling apart, or unraveling, I should say, and falling apart, or are you sticking to the plan? Are we on the same page here? So I think it's also that demand for Hamlet as well.
Sure.
And you start, wait, hang on a second, because you start to see how we're all responding as an audience. Because the only mission we have is to do it. But you're all right. I mean, I couldn't say, no, that's not right, or that's right, because what you're all doing is getting something from the scene that's causing you to have a response to it. And I think that that's what makes it such a difficult play to do, but also a wonderful play to do, because you can see where the conversation is going to go on and on once everybody leaves the theater. As opposed to, we'll write a review and the acting was great, but I fell asleep, or thumbs up or thumbs down, which is now our mission in the theater, to judge and decide if we like it or we don't like it. But what Shakespeare, if he's done well, does is you can't shake it. I have had more conversations with you guys outside these sessions. It doesn't matter. We start with the most, Lee and Sandy, we can start with the most social conversation, and before you know it, all four of us are in the, well, this could happen here. What do you think about when this happens? You know, Nick comes over, same thing. Stephen and I have a wonderful relationship. We talk on the phone, loving relationship. Before you know it, we spring off into Hamlet. So I think that's what should be happening for an audience. They should be totally, they can't let go of it. They can't let go of it. And that's what will bring them back to the theater. Not cheapening it, not telling them they're stupid, but saying, you got it. You're worthy of it. And that's what will bring them into those seats. I just put that on the table. At any rate, I think that with this scene, we're finding out, and again, that ghost is essential to getting these men to swear. It's not just this voice coming from under the ground. I will also say the hesitation is just what I said. The voice is coming from what would be known as hell. So there's going to be a hesitation here. They have to take this in. They're not accepting that they're taking an oath to a king. Immediately there's doubt. Oh my God, what am I swearing to? Because that on an Elizabethan stage, the below would have been hell. So they would have understood, and I think it's pretty obvious in our day and age too, that the assumption is that this is a spirit that's returning to hell or demonic or whatever you want to do. So that makes them hesitate even more. They're swearing on a cross with a devil. Or is he? Right? Now, the big controversy is when he says swear, do they move towards him or do they move away? And everybody has a different opinion. I mean, I kind of spent my week trying to see people's perspective of it. I'd like to know yours perspective.
well, I think it's interesting. Hamlet almost makes a joke after every swear. You know, like it's like reinforcing to the guys, it's okay, guys. It's okay. Okay. It's all right. Don't run. Don't go. No, it's okay. You can stay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I have he seems to be trying to tell them, you know, and it's Horatio, the one that says, this is wondrous, strange, you know, which is almost an understatement.
And maybe actually the answer to some of what Liz was asking about before is that he doesn't refer to him as ghost or father or anything like that. He calls
Or
him
devil.
or devil. He calls him true penny. He calls him a pioneer, somebody who works their way, to have a path towards a goal. A mole, we all know what a mole is. So that idea of pulling them away from devil, pulling them away from anything other than what's happening under that ground and how Hamlet is describing it. I particularly spend a little time on True Penny because Hamlet has said earlier, this is an honest ghost, that let me tell you. Now, that can mean two things. It can mean it's a real ghost, or it can mean it's a truthful ghost. So however you take that, here's a place where we find out. I mean, I start to bend towards it's a real ghost. And because he's now proving it through the swear that comes from the audible sound of the ghost. But again, it's one of those questions that are up there.
So in answer to your initial one, it seems to me that when the ghost says swear the first time, it's such a surprise that they're going to scoot away from it.
Yeah.
And then Hamlet, boy says that so, and he sort of calms it all down and says, propose, and then Horatio says, propose the oath, my lord, and then swear by my sword. And then the ghost says, swear again. And then we'll shift for ground. It seems they move again. So my instinct is that they move away from the ghost rather than towards it. What do you think? You obviously, Annie has thought this out for herself.
No, because Randy and I have had this conversation, and I told Randy that many, if you look at the Mask of Hamlet, performers have made the choice to move away. However, I read what I thought in the Mask of Hamlet. I read something that I thought was pretty interesting, which was that if the ghost says swear, they don't have to go anywhere. The ghost is moving. So if they just stay still, they're fine. I thought that made sense when I read that passage. The other thing that I think I'm trying to imagine is, where do you hear the ghost say swear? Do you think it's under their feet right away?
No.
I think it's away, right?
Yeah.
I think the ghost may move closer to, it's possible that the ghost may move closer to them each time to put pressure on them.
Okay, let me just tell you the reason why that's not possible. Hamlet's telling us that he's making a path, pioneer, he's working his way somewhere. So as he says swear, he's moving away.
Ah, okay.
All right. So now we have that as a fact to deal with. And I think that's why I think Hamlet hears the voice and heads. You hear this fellow in the cellars? I think he moves towards it. He beckons the men to come. We hear the ghost again. They all stop, listen. Hamlet moves again. The ghost moves. Hamlet moves again, trying to get these men to him to take this oath. I think the moving away, and I understand, Liz, I've been on that train.
I think it can be a combination of both. I think my instinct is that first swear has to scare the shit out of them.
I agree.
And they would move away. And then afterwards, I agree with you that Hamlet then takes them to it. Okay.
Yes, I think that is it. Because and Lee was talking about this the other night as well. He felt the same thing. When they hear it, they are repelled by, they almost jump away.
Yeah.
You know? And then Hamlet beckons them to, come here. And they probably start to, and again, the ghost says, but the problem becomes, and I think Sandy was getting at this too. This is all because they're not swearing. So how we work this out on stage is we have to see, do they start to hear the ghost hesitate? What happens in the action of it that lets us know that they are reluctant, so the ghost has to continue to urge them to swear? Go ahead, Sandy, were you going to say something? Okay.
I was going to say what you just said.
It's very exciting. I mean, I think that it's very exciting. I mean, if you read The Heart of Hamlet by Grabonier, he says, of course, Horatio and Marcellus don't hear the ghost. And that was, wow, what kind of play is that? What does that do, and then finally, they do. And again, Marcellus has no words, but we have to believe he swears. Otherwise, this would continue. And it doesn't. So however reluctant he is, that hand is going on that sword. Makes sense?
Yep.
I want to point one other little thing, and this is the minutia that you'll just have to tolerate. Hic et hubique, all right, was also, it means here and there, but it was also about a prayer, part of a prayer that was said to souls in a graveyard. And it was associated with purgatory because you were praying for those souls, whether they had received last rites or not. And it was, and it meant more, it was much more about, let me see if I can find the quote for you. Of course, I have so many. Oh, here it is. God's mercy and forgiveness of souls are begged on behalf of all souls here and everywhere. So Hamlet picks that up as here and everywhere. And once again, I think it's a signal to Horatio that it's worth following this. This is not a devil. I think it might be lost on Marcellus, but now Marcellus is subject to going along for that final swear. All right. Did I leave anything out? Everything. Okay. Should we do it again with a new group of people?
Annie, I had a question about Hamlet's last nay, let's come go together. What, like what, I don't know. What's in that pause? What's in that separation of him changing his mind?
I think there are two possibilities. I think they all start, he first says, let's go together early, the early part of the speech. And then he says, seal your fingers on your lips, I pray. The time is out of joint. And then there's a colon. Oh, cursed spite that ever I were born to set it right. Perhaps he moves away for his own personal moment. The men wait. And then they almost part expecting him to go off ahead of him. And he says, no, let's go together. And the three go together. That's a possibility. It's not something you want to write in blood, but it's a possibility. That's at least one of the interpretations. I know some people have said this poor Marcellus, he's been beaten up. People feel that Marcellus hesitates. And so he pulls back while Horatio and Hamlet are ready to go. And Hamlet says, no, together. It's a terrible way to end the scene with that kind of doubt, So the important takeaway here is the only thing that Hamlet asks them to do, and later on he will beg them to do. I pray you, he will say, but earlier he is keep the secrecy. Yep. The secrecy is 3 times he asks for secrecy in different forms, and then finally a detailed. Not only aren't you going to tell about it, you're not going to roll your eyes when somebody says, hey, did you see Hamlet? You're not going to shake your head when you think, I know, but you don't know. All of that, don't give any signal at all that you know anything, because Hamlet can't pursue his mission if word gets out. It's over. And he's in a court where you have people like Polonius who use spies on their own children. You know, it's not the safest court to be quiet and secret in. And that may be why he says, I may put on an antic disposition. The other thing, too, is that antic does not mean mad. It means strange, unusual. So I know there are a lot of people who like to jump on the bandwagon that this is the beginning of Hamlet's madness, and who wouldn't be mad, you know, with this pose to him. I don't think that is what he's saying, and I think you'll see signs of it through the course of the play. He's not mad at all, and he tells you very specifically, I must be idle. They're coming to the play. How he will take on the guise of strangeness based on the circumstance he finds himself in. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, read it again?
Yep.
So, Ben, Hamlet, Liz, Horatio, and Randy, this time you're going to do Marcellus.
Okay.
My lord, my lord.
My lord, Lord Hamlet.
Heaven secure him.
So be it.
Hello, ho, my lord.
Hello? Ho, ho, boy! Come, bird, come.
How is my noble lord?
What news, my lord?
Oh, wonderful.
Good my lord, tell it.
No, you'll reveal it.
Not I, my lord, by heaven.
Nor I, my lord.
How say you then? Would heart of man once think it, but you'll be secret?
Aye, by heaven, my lord.
There's ne'er a villain dwelling in all Denmark, but he's an errant knave.
And he's no ghost, my lord, come from the grave to tell us this.
Why, right. You are in the right. And so, without more circumstance at all, I hold it fit that we shake hands and part. You, as your business and desires shall point you, for every man has business and desire, such as 'tis. And for mine own poor part, look you, I'll go pray.
These are but wild and hurling words, my lord.
I'm sorry they offend you, heartily. Yes, faith, heartily.
There's no offense, my lord.
Yes, by Saint Patrick, but there is, my lord, and much offense too. Touching this vision here, it is an honest ghost, that let me tell you, for your desire to know what is between us, or master it as you may. And now, good friends, as you are friends, scholars, and soldiers, give me one poor request.
What is't, my lord? We will.
Never make known what you have seen tonight.
My lord,
Lord, we will not.
Nay, but swear it.
In faith, my lord, not I.
Nor I, my lord, in faith.
Upon my sword.
Well, we have sworn, my lord, already.
Indeed. Upon my sword, indeed.
Swear!
Ah, boy, say'st thou so? Art thou there, true penny? Come on, you there, come on, you hear this fellow in the cellarage. Consent to swear.
Propose the oath, my lord.
Never to speak of this that you have seen. Swear by my sword.
Swear!
Hic and ubique. Then we'll shift for ground. Come hither, gentlemen, and lay your hand again upon my sword. Never to speak of that you have heard. Let me try that again. Never to speak of this that you have heard. Swear by my sword.
Swear!
Well said, old mole. Canst work in the ground so fast? A worthy pioneer. Once more, remove, good friends.
Oh, day and night, but this is wondrous strange.
And therefore, as a stranger, give it welcome. There are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than are dreamt of in our philosophy. But come, here as before, never so help you mercy. How strange or odd soe'er I bear myself, as I perchance hereafter shall think meet to put an antic disposition on, that you at such time seeing me never shall, with arms encumbered thus or thus, shake head, or by pronouncing of some dreadful phrase, as well we know, or we would, and if we could, or if we list to speak, or there be, and if there might, or such ambiguous giving out to note that you know aught of me, this not to do. So grace and mercy at your most need help you, swear.
Swear.
Rest. Rest, perturbed spirit. So, gentlemen, with all my love I do commend me to you, and what so poor a man as Hamlet is may do to express his love and friending to you, God willing shall not lack. Let us go in together, and still your fingers on your lips, I pray you. The time is out of joint. Oh, cursed spite, that ever I was born to set it right. Nay, come, let's go together.
Good. Better and better. Ben, I do want to work just 1 second, a little bit with you.
Please.
Can we take a look at the detailed, specific list of the behavior?
Yeah, the part that I was stressing about the most, and then I just was like, screw it. Yeah,
Oh,
the things
no.
not to do.
Yes, that one.
Yes.
Because what we have to establish is what happens to Hamlet through the course of this. I think the most hysteric or frantic will be that first speech that he has to Horatio and Marcellus. And by the way, that brings me to the point of, you notice that Horatio is even skeptical there in his response. In the very, I'm at the beginning of the scene, that Horatio says, there need no ghosts, my lord, to tell us that. He's skeptical. He sees right through Hamlet's deflection. So that that character of Horatio, remember, he's going to be praised for the ability to take good and bad together, almost stoic. And now that's why I think Hamlet says to him, there's more in heaven and earth, because he's a man of philosophy. He's a scholar. Remember, scholars know things. That's what they do. They spend their time reading and learning. They don't spend their time in a kind of, if they have a question about it, they go out to answer. He's rational, and Hamlet's saying there's much more to it. So I think that first part is that moment. Through the course of the scene, I think when Hamlet finally decides that he at least can get them to swear secrecy, he will do that. I almost felt where they laid their hands on the sword, and it was just before rest. That's the moment. And now, Ben, take that speech. Don't feel rushed. Don't feel anything other than being very specific, that they understand the importance of how it's not just shutting your mouth, it's any inkling that can cause curiosity. It needs time. I think you were, moving at it quickly, maybe because, but I think
if I could get past it fast enough, you wouldn't notice.
you're the wrong person.
No, I know. Got a whole Zoom full of the wrong people for that.
So let's give it a try.
From that as a stranger give it welcome. Is that a good place?
No, from say it again. I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
The top of that speech, as a stranger give it welcome. Okay, great.
Oh, before you do, I do have to have another piece of minutia. If you look up stranger, you will find there are 100 references in the Bible to strangers and how to treat them, to welcome them. The only reason I bring this up is to constantly remind you that Hamlet is a student with Horatio at Wittenberg. So his references sometimes reflect that education. And you can see where it would just be a general, as a stranger, give it welcome. But Hamlet is saying something that's said, welcome a stranger because it may be God. I mean, I have the whole list of the references in the Bible, but it all has to do with welcoming the stranger. And so again, it's not just a kind of flip, send a stranger, give it welcome. He's talking to Horatio. It has meaning for Horatio. Okay, just wanted to throw that in. Listen, I know that sometimes I feel like a archaeologist dusting off, any tiny little, but I have to do that. And it may never be seen, it may never be used. I need to do that because I believe it's a great play. I believe it's a masterpiece. And I'm always humbled by the privilege to work with it. In any capacity that I can. And I'm trying, even at this age, to understand what makes a masterpiece. Why is the Mona Lisa so alive to us, so meaningful to us? Why is this play done over and over and over, even to the point that it said, you can't count yourself a good actor until you've done Hamlet. It's a masterpiece. An unfair judgment, let me say, but again, it has that weight. So Ben, sorry to digress, but that's the stranger. You said stranger, and it set me off.
No, thank you for that. And therefore, as a stranger, give it welcome. There are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than are dreamt of in our philosophy. But come, here as before, never so help you mercy, how strange or odd soe'er I bear myself, as I perchance hereafter shall think meet to put an antic disposition on, that you, at such time seeing me, never shall, with arms encumbered thus, or thus head shake, or by pronounce.
Ben, simplify. With arms encumbered thus, or this head shaking. Great. Get it through. Mm-hmm. If you lighten it up, it doesn't have the weight it needs to have. Okay?
Gotcha. Yep. That you, at such time seeing me, never shall, with arms encumbered thus, or thus head shake, or by pronouncing of some doubtful phrase, as, well, we know, or we could, and if we would, or if we list to speak, or there be, and if there might, or such ambiguous giving out to note that you know aught of me, this not to do. So grace and mercy at your most need help you, swear.
Good. And look at the end line. Look at that last line. So grace and mercy in your most desperate moment are there to help you. They won't be there if you break this vow.
Mm-hmm.
This is important stuff. This is important. I mean, this is the speech that lays it home. Before it's been never to speak of this, never to, but now he's really spelled it out. I would even simplify with this head shaking, or I doubt, or the whole doubt lines. I know you're doing that as quotes, and that's good. But I would, Randy used to give me direction when we acted together, and he would always say to me, flatten it. And I always wanted to punch him in the face because I thought he's telling me that I can't act. I learned that that's not true. I think to allow the words to carry the action, the meaning, rather than coding it too much with how they might say it.
Right.
You see?
Absolutely.
And what started to happen, and I urge more of it, is we have our prince. We have our prince who can, this is how he gets what he needs from the people who follow him. It's, he's explaining in detail. He does not hug a mugger and just say, hide behind their back. This speech to me is the one where he's telling them very specifically, this don't do, so heaven will be there when you need it. And with that kind of importance, I'd be careful of lightening it up. Okay, and it's good. It was good. And I would even take it a little further when you get to that section. Okay, did you hear the difference, guys? I mean, again, I think it's so important to say, how important is this information? What will it do as we move forward? And again, that's not to deny you your creative juices and trying something new. I just think when I'm listening to the play, I've heard people do that and be almost flippant about it. And I keep wondering, why would he choose the final moment to do that? This is not true Penny, ah boy, or this is something that's has to stay with them forever. And
I'll tell you exactly. I'll just say, as somebody, who definitely maybe because of some of the people in this room, maybe a little bit, but grew up definitely with the idea that you need to play this part, you need to work on this part, so I will say that I think that it could be really dangerous, that little section, because it is where I think a lot of us start playing the perceived Hamlet we have in our head, which is, oh, this is where I get to start being a little fun, a little crazy. I need to start putting my tongue in my cheek a little bit right at this moment, to sort of, and I hear you. And it's funny because I usually will get the opposite note, which is, Ben, you add a little light to that or something. But this is what it's interesting to kind of go, oh, okay, I see the point there. Yeah, I'm in a hurry. Oh, I want to play Hamlet, which is this big vague thing, and this is the first chance I can do that. No, it's a good reminder to to let that happen when it happens. And
I think that we'll all find, as we move forward, these famous soliloquies, these famous speeches, all of a sudden take on a new meaning. I mean, you've heard actors do to be or not to be, and I've heard it all the way from to be or not to be to be or not to be. That's the question. And it's sound, it's just sound, it's music, rather than what is he really saying. And he's with the audience. There's nobody on stage except for Ophelia, who's off to the corner. But those famous speeches, we feel the obligation to deliver Hamlet. But who is Hamlet? That's the point. That's what we're trying to find out. Good. Anything else? All right. So I think we are ready to, let me just see the time. Yeah, I think we should do the whole scene. From the entrance, let me get that. So, Ben, I'm going to ask you to keep Hamlet. Horatio, I'm sorry, wrong. Sorry. Randy is going to do Hamlet. Michelle, if you would do Marcellus. Ben, take on Horatio. And Jim, I'm going to have you do the ghost again. Okay.
And I'm sorry, where are we starting from?
The very top of the scene 4.
Great. Air bite shrewdly. Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Oh, the air bites shrewdly. Is it very cold?
It is a nipping and an eager air.
Well, what hour now?
I think it lacks of 12.
No, I'm sorry. I didn't get to 4. No, it is struck.
Indeed. I heard it not. Then it draws near the season wherein the spirit held its wont to walk. What does this mean, my lord?
A king doth wake tonight and takes his rouse, and as he drains his draughts of Rhenish down, the kettle drum and trumpet thus bray out the triumph of his pledge.
Is it a custom?
Aye, marry is't. And to my mind, though I'm native here and to the manor born, it is a custom more honored in the breach than the observance.
Look, My lord, he comes.
Angels and ministers of grace defend us. Be thou a spirit of health, or goblin damned, bring with thee airs from heaven, or blasts from hell. Be thy events wicked or charitable, thou comest in such a questionable shape that I will speak to thee. I'll call thee Hamlet, king, father, royal Dane. Oh, answer me. Let me not burst in ignorance, but tell why thy canonized bones, hearsed in death, have burst their cerements, why the sepulchre wherein we saw thee quietly inurned hath oped his ponderous and marble jaws to cast thee up again. What may this mean? That thou, dead corse, again, in complete steel, revisits thus the glimpses of the moon, making night hideous, and we fools of nature so hurriedly to shake our disposition with thoughts beyond the reaches of our souls. Say, why is this? Wherefore? What should we do?
It beckons you to go away with it, as if it some imparted desire to you alone.
Look, with what courteous action it wafts you to a more removed ground. But do not go with it.
No, by no means.
Why, it will not speak, then will I follow it.
Do not, my lord.
Why, what should be the fear? I do not set my life at a pin's fee, and for my soul, what can it do to that, being a thing immortal as itself? He waves me forth again. I'll follow it.
What if it tempt you toward the flood, my lord, or to the dreadful summit of the cliff that beetles o'er his base into the sea, and there assumes some horrible form which might deprive your sovereignty of reason and draw you into madness? Think of it.
It wafts me still. Go on, I'll follow thee.
You shall not go, my lord.
Hold off your hand.
Be ruled, you shall not go.
My fate cries out and makes each petty artery in this body as hardy as the Nemean lion's nerve. Still am I cold? Unhand me, gentlemen. By heaven, I'll make a ghost of him that lets me. I say away. Go on, I'll follow thee.
He waxes desperate with imagination.
Let's follow. 'Tis not fit thus to obey him.
Have after, to what issue will this come?
Something is rotten in the state of Denmark.
Heaven will direct it.
Nay, let's follow him.
Where wilt thou lead me? Speak. I'll go no further.
Mark me.
I will.
My hour is almost come, when I to sulphurous and tormenting flames must render up myself.
Alas, poor ghost.
Pity me not, but lend thy serious hearing to what I shall unfold.
Speak. I'm bound to hear.
So art thou to revenge when thou shalt hear.
What?
I am thy father's spirit, doomed for a certain term to walk the night, and for the day confined to fast in fires, till the foul crimes done in my days of nature are burnt and purged away. But that I am forbid to tell the secrets of my prison house, I could a tale unfold whose lightest word would harrow up thy soul, freeze thy young blood, make thy two eyes like stars start from their spheres, thy knotty and combined locks depart, and each particular hair to stand on end like quills upon the fretful porpentine. But this eternal blazon must not be to ears of flesh and blood. List, Hamlet, oh list, if thou didst ever thy dear father love.
Oh, heaven.
Revenge his foul and most unnatural murder.
Murder.
Murder most foul as in the best it is, but this most foul, strange, and unnatural.
Haste, haste me to know it, that I with wings as swift as meditation or the thoughts of love may sweep to my revenge.
I find thee apt, and duller shouldst thou be than the fat weed that rots itself in ease on leafy wharf, which thou not stir in this. Now, Hamlet, hear. It's given out that sleeping in mine orchard a serpent stung me. So the whole ear of Denmark is by a forged process of my death rankly abused. But know, thou noble youth, the serpent that did sting thy father's life now wears his crown.
Oh, my prophetic soul, mine uncle!
Aye, that incestuous, that adulterate beast, with witchcraft of his wit, hath traitorous gifts, oh wicked winning gifts that have the power so to seduce. One to his shameful lust, the will of my most seeming virtuous queen. Oh, Hamlet, what a falling off was there from me, whose love was of that dignity that it went hand in hand even with the vow I made to her in marriage, and to decline upon a wretch whose natural gifts were poor to those of mine. But virtue, as it never will be moved, though lewdness court it in a shape of heaven, so lust, though to a radiant angel linked, will sate itself in a celestial bed and prey on garbage. But soft, methinks I scent the morning's air, brief let me be. Sleeping within mine orchard, my custom always in the afternoon, upon my secure hour, thy uncle stole with juice of cursed Hebanon in a vial, and in the porches of mine ears did pour the leprous distilment, whose effect holds such an enmity with blood of man, that swift as quicksilver it courses through the natural gates and alleys of the body, and with a sudden vigor it doth posset and curd, like eager droppings into milk, the thin and wholesome blood. So did it mine, and a most instant tetter baked about most lazar-like all my smooth body. Thus was I, sleeping by a brother's hand, of life, of crown, of queen at once dispatched, cut off even in the blossoms of my sins, unhouselled, disappointed, unannealed, no reckoning made, but sent to my account with all my imperfections on my head. Oh, horrible! Oh, horrible! Most horrible! If thou hast nature in thee, bear it not. Let not the royal bed of Denmark be a couch for luxury and damned incest. But howsoever thou pursuest this act, taint not thy mind, nor let thy soul contrive against thy mother aught. Leave her to heaven, and to those thorns that in her bosom lodge to prick and sting her. Fare thee well at once. The glowworm shows the matin to be near, and gins to pale his uneffectual fire. Adieu, adieu. Hamlet, remember me.
Oh, you host of heaven, oh, earth, what else? And shall I couple hell? Oh, fie! Hold my heart, and you my sinews grow not instant old, but bear me stiffly up. Remember thee. Ay, thou poor ghost, while memory holds a seat in this distracted globe. Remember thee, Yea, from the table of my memory I'll wipe away all trivial fond records, all saws of books, all forms, all pressures past, that use and observation copied there, and thy commandment all alone shall live within the book and volume of my brain, unmixed with baser matter. Yes, yes, by heaven! Ah, most pernicious woman! Ah! Villain, villain, smiling, damned villain. My tables, meet it is I set it down, that one may smile and be a villain. At least I'm sure it may be so in Denmark. So, uncle, there you are. Now to my word. It is adieu. Adieu, remember me. I have sworn it.
My lord!
My lord!
My lord!
Lord Hamlet!
Heaven secure him!
So be it.
Hello, hello, my lord!
Hello, bird. Come, bird, come.
How is my noble lord?
What news, my lord?
Oh, wonderful.
Good, my lord, tell it.
No, you'll reveal it.
Not I, my lord, by heaven.
Nor I, my lord.
How say you then? Would heart of man once think it? But you'll be secret.
Aye, by heaven, my
by
lord.
By heaven, my lord.
There's ne'er a villain dwelling in all Denmark. But he's an arrant knave.
There needs no ghost, my lord, come from the grave to tell us this.
Why, right. You're in the right. And so without more circumstance at all, I hold it fit that we shake hands and part. You as your business and desire shall point you, for every man has business and desire, such as it is. And for my own poor part, look you, I'll go pray.
These are but wild and hurling words, my lord.
I'm sorry they offend you. Heartily. Yes, faith, heartily.
There's no offense, my lord.
Yes, by St. Patrick, but there is, my lord, and much offense too. Touching this vision here, it is an honest ghost, that let me tell you. For your desire to know what is between us, or master it as you may. And now, good friends, as you are friends, scholars and soldiers, give me one poor request.
What is it, my lord? We will.
Never make known what you have seen tonight.
My lord,
my lord, we will not.
Nay, but swear it.
In faith, my lord, not I.
Nor I, my lord, in faith.
Upon my sword.
We have sworn, my lord, already.
Indeed, upon my sword, indeed.
Swear.
Ah, boy, sayest thou so? Art thou there, true penny? Come on, you hear this fellow in the cellarage? Consent to swear.
Propose the oath, my lord.
And never to speak of this that you have seen. Swear by my sword.
Swear.
Get ubique. Then we'll shift for ground. Come hither, gentlemen, and lay your hands again upon my sword. Never to speak of this that you have heard. Swear by my sword.
Swear.
Well said, old mole. Canst work in the ground so fast. A worthy pioneer. Once more remove, good friends.
Oh, day and night, but this is wondrous strange.
And therefore, as a stranger, give it welcome. Oh, there are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than are dreamt of in our philosophy. But come, here as before. Never, so help you mercy, how strange or odd soe'er I bear myself, as I perchance hereafter shall think me to put an antic disposition on, that you, at such time seeing me, never shall, with arms encumbered thus, or thus head shake, or by pronouncing of some doubtful phrase, as well we know, or we couldn't if we would, or if we list to speak, or there be and if there might, or such ambiguous giving out to note that you know aught of me, this not to do. So grace and mercy at your most need help you. Swear.
Well,
Rest. Rest, perturbed spirit. So, gentlemen, with all my love I do commend me to you. And what so poor a man as Hamlet is, may do to express his love and friending to you, God willing shall not lack. Let us go together, and still your fingers on your lips, I pray. The time is out of joint. O cursed spite, that ever I was born to set it right. Nay, come, let's go together.
What did you think? Pretty good stuff, huh?
Quite rocked, so to speak.
I say it's about the acting, you know, and I can sit here and rattle this stuff off to, and I do to him. So, but in the end, it only counts if it affects the acting. I can't stress that enough. And I think this speaks for itself. I really believe that this group of people that we have right now, it's a gift because you all came into this not knowing, yeah, I think maybe some of you had expectations or kind of some, I don't know, 40-year remembrance of something that was very special. But we've knitted ourselves into a group dedicated to finding out what this play is about. And I have yet to see anyone not grow. Jim, I want to say that the ghost you gave us last week has grown immensely this week, you know, and Ben and Michelle partnering with Hamlet, wonderful. I think also to remember, Randy has played this role 3 times, last time in the 80s, but he's never stopped working on it. And I think when I was a young actress, he said to me, don't wait for the role. Don't wait for the role. Work on it now. If there's a role you love, work on it now. And I'm afraid we wait for the audition. We wait to see how we can fit in this crazy world of theater. But it's not just as a young person. I have to say that for both Randy and me, there's not a chance that we can go to bed at night without discussing and getting, I mean, there are times when Randy will say to me, like the ghost, rest now, rest now. But it demands it. I really think it demands it. And I keep thinking if my fantasy would be to do a production of this play, after all of this exploration, to see if the impact would be what I believe it would be. You know, I think I've told this story, but I think it's worth telling. When we did Hamlet at APT, we didn't cut anything. And it was raining. Randy was sick as a dog. And started to rain, and Chuck, who was the other founder of APT and member of our family, started to head down. But we had at the theater, if you don't know it, we had we called it the Hanamichi. At any rate, it was a wooden path to the stage. that you can get from Baxter. So Chuck would walk down this path, and before he even opened his mouth to cancel the show, the audience booed him. They didn't want to go. And so we couldn't go on. It was pouring. Randy was sick, but that's how much it meant to them. They would sit there in the rain to see the rest of this play and see not only Randy's performance, a company dedicated to doing the plays. So I hope, you know, if this goes on to young people after we're done with it, I just hope the lessons get learned. Anybody else? Please help me.
Yeah, what struck me was all you have to do is just listen to it, really listen to it. And of course, it helps to have a Hamlet like Randy and a ghost like Jim to do that. But if you just listen, all of a sudden you get caught up in the urgency and the confusion, and all these emotions just wash over you. It is kind of remarkable
Yeah.
to feel.
It was lovely, lovely, the scene between Jim and Randy. The life and death, you know, that's what makes great drama, right? Great comedy, great theater. And it starts right away. I mean, you know, what's great about this guy who wrote these plays is he takes that ball and he goes with it right away. You know, the exposition is within the action many times. And, you know, you're speaking about the audiences. They're the most loyal audiences I've ever seen in my life. Yeah, I believe totally what you just said about them booing Chuck. You know, when I went to go do Glengarry, and the cast asked me, "So, what have you been doing?" I said, "I'm just up, you know, American Players Theater doing." And J.T. Walsh said, "Oh, you worked with Randy Kim? Oh, he's brilliant. He wants to do the entire canon." You know, he was okay. So it carries on is all it was what I'm trying to say here. You know, what we do is ethereal, ephemeral, whatever you want to call it. It's of the moment, and it's theater. Very rarely is it recorded, or if it is, it's not the same. But by this word of mouth, it goes, it passes, and people know, and it carries. Thank you.
Yeah. I would like to just add to that, Chuck, that also for us to have those of you who have been part of the history of APT come join us. Once again, we've been blown away by that. And it has a particular meaning to us because it was a very long time ago that we started that theater. And I know that you also carry memories of what we were trying to do and some of the special qualities that that theater had. At any rate, we're about to move on to Act Two. We're going to talk to Nathan about either using the very first section or meeting to do all of our Act One. Because I'd love to have that complete work listened to. So it means a lot of casting will take place before we launch into the first scene in Act Two. We have to just figure out the logistics of all of it and how it might work. I think we can, we'll definitely get it in within a 2-hour session. It's just a matter of, do we want to keep it outside with a different session called, or do we want to just start off the next bout of our work with it? The thing that we're about to head into, and Nathan and Randy particularly have been trying to schedule it, the play now gets tough. You know, this was laying in, this is just the laying in. And now we have where these circumstances lead, Hamlet's journey, Ophelia's journey. We get to meet Polonius. Gertrude's furthering of her character, and of course Claudius. And the players and Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. So these little 2 hour, either I have to stop talking so much, but it's going to be tough to get through that act in four weeks, but we'll give it our best. Nathan, you're on.
I'm here. 4 months. You don't have to get through the whole act in 4 weeks, Annie. Don't worry. That's a challenge even beyond you.
Yeah.
But this has just been wonderful. A few things that have popped up for me. It really is interesting, exploring it this deeply. These themes of trust and friendship, how they come up for Hamlet, of who he's putting his trust in, who can he trust, when can he trust people, and of course we'll see that later in his confrontation with Gertrude and what he's asking her to do and not do. Very similar to it's been really exciting to kind of track that, and of course to try to think back to Act One, Scene One now, and just everything that's transpired. It's its own mini plays to some degree. That just how much we've covered. It's been so exciting, and I wanted to just build off something Annie said about taking the time to work on a part that you want, and on a personal level, this project came together just because Annie, Randy, and I were like, let's do this. Like no one else is doing this. Let's try this. And I don't take it lightly that all of you have been part of this for the last 4 months or thereabouts, and it means a lot. I know it means a lot to me, and I'm talking with Annie and Randy. I know it means a lot to them. And so it's very, very gratifying, just the depth of work and conversations. And as Annie has said, just how much everybody has grown over the weeks. So that's been really exciting. And I'll mention one other quick thing. If my research is correct, it's Randy's birthday tomorrow. Now, don't worry, I'm not going to make everybody sing, but he has said if we could get through this act in 4 months, it would be such a gift. And we did, and I want to thank all of you for being part of that. But maybe we could all just do, if everybody wanted to unmute for a second, we could just do a quick huzzah. Maybe that would be in place of the song. We could just do a quick huzzah. So, ready? One,
Hip,
or no, I think just a huzzah is fine. But
Just a huzzah.
all right. So 1, 2, 3.
Huzzah!
Well, Randy, I'm very glad that we were able to get to this point, and thank you to both of you for leading this. I mean, I'm really just here at the back of the theater, making sure that the lights stay on. But it's been such a joy to be part of this. And
By
I'll
the
mention
way,
quickly. Yes.
Nathan, today is Euripides' birthday.
Oh, well.
I'll offer that too.
What do we do for him?
Eureka!
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
I'll say just quickly, logistically, if you haven't let us know, if you can, if you're available for October, I've sent out the form. I'll send it out again, but just please let us know so we can keep track of who can attend, and we'll get everybody kind of filtered in as we can. But this has been wonderful. Thank you all so much for your time. Yes, Annie.
Nathan, can I just add to that? If you know of anyone who you feel would merit from taking it, we're looking now. I have a list of people who couldn't make it for the first session. I'm going to reach out to them again, and that's why I'd like them to hear Act One. But they can come in. They will start as audience members because some of you are now going to graduate to readers. But I think the more that we can, I would love some young people to come. But again, whoever you feel might be interested, now's the time. Either let us know or I think mostly Nathan. But it would be great to extend the group. So
Yes, yeah. If you're a teacher or you have peers that just are Shakespeare nerds like yourselves, and they might really benefit from and enjoy being part of this, we definitely welcome more people. And like Andy said, we would love to get some newer and younger actors in here as well. It's it's been a lot of fun here. So with that, I think we
And
can kind of
Nathan, just before you dismiss us all, we
Yes,
really
Andy.
we just ought to take a moment and thank you. None of this would be available at all were it not for your stand that it be available.
Yep.
So thank you.
Thank you, Nathan. Yes.
Yeah, bravo.
You're all well. Thank you very much. You're all very, very welcome. It's my deepest gratitude that I can, be part of all this and be part of your afternoons. Like I said, it means a lot. So thank you, Sandy, and thank you, all of you.
Great.
Thank you,
All
Nathan.
right. Well, we will see you, everyone, back for Act 2. Who knows what's to come around those corners? We'll see what Hamlet's up to next. And if you're watching this later, please subscribe and click those notifications. And we'll see you back here in the rehearsal room soon. All right. Take care, everybody.
Great. Here, everyone. Thanks again.